You're listening to the Career Musician Podcast with creator and host, Nomad. With 20 plus years of experience in the music industry, Nomad has done just about everything to earn a living as a career musician. From being music director to celebrity artists, playing iconic arenas and stadiums, composing for film and TV, and even playing your average local club gigs, he's done it all. Nomad's mission is to empower musicians across the globe with strategies for a sustainable career while blasting stereotypes, and to bring you tried and true wisdom from his colleagues in this crazy business we call music.
Welcome to another episode of the Career Musician Podcast. Today we are going back in the archives for an episode that was recorded a couple years ago with A&R from McPherson Guitars, Mr. Larry Klenc. Larry tells us what is really needed to have a proper symbiotic relationship with your endorsement companies. Have you ever wondered how to get a gear endorsement or gear sponsorship? Well, listen up, because Larry will tell you the truth about what it really takes right here on the Career Musician Podcast. I am sitting here with Mr. Larry Klenc, the head of A&R, basically, at McPherson Acoustic Guitars. Larry, thank you for coming to Nomad's place.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know the traffic is
spectacular. You have to come to SoCal with a positive attitude.
That's right.
You have beautiful scenery, beautiful people, and beautiful cars that you get to look at all their license plates.
So you just came off the NAMM show 2019. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't make it this year. I was working. I just
wish I was there with you.
Well, I was doing a different kind of work. It's it's all relative. It was a hectic show, to say the least. I mean, it's always hectic for you, right?
It's always hectic. I mean, there's roughly, from what the numbers that are presented to us, about 120,000 people attend the NAMM, 1,820 vendors. These are last year's numbers.
1,800.
Yeah.
Almost 2,000.
Almost 2,000. It's a production. It's the NAMM organization does a fabulous job on the logistics of getting all these people in and out in timely fashions, traffic, badging. It was one of the best run shows this year that I've ever been to be honest.
Great, so they smoothed out
a lot of the issues that after a week of 120,000 people constantly retuning your guitars, constantly polishing fingerprints off, filling up candy dishes, vacuuming floor. I mean, you do. Well, you've been there. You do everything. Yes, right. And meet and greets, the dinners, the on and on and on. You can get a little testy by about 2:30 in the morning after the show, and you're just now getting your booth put into the, cleaning it all up and whatnot. So they did a fabulous job this year. It was actually awesome. One of our best shows.
And McPherson has been representing there at the NAMM show for...
there's a few years we skipped out of it just because we're busy at work too, and you have to balance the worth of going to a show like that. But I'd say at least the last 10 years, pretty much consistently.
All right. That sounds about right. And let's just get it straight for all of those players out there who are, so hopeful about landing the endorsement deal. What is the purpose of the NAMM show? The exact purpose from a vendor standpoint?
The purpose of the NAMM show, it's a buyer show. It's open to the mom and pop shops, the Guitar Centers, Sam Ash buyers. This is worldwide too. It's the second largest music show in the world. That's why there's so many people there. And they come and they want to work their special pricing, special NAMM deals. You place your order for the entire year. We can schedule deliveries out. And also it's, you get to talk finally face to face and spend some time with these people that are emails and text messages and voicemails and all that, because in today's society it's 24 hours a day. So there's a lot of that, but the main reason is just to purchase product for 2019.
And the reason why I preface the conversation is because so many musicians, career musicians as I call them, believe that it's built for us to go out and get endorsement deals. This is a bunch of baloney. Now, it serves as that, and we know that, and I love that you're grinning from cheek to cheek. So I'm trying to teach, those career musicians out there, look, it's for the makers, the manufacturers of the instruments to go meet the retailers, like you said, put a face with a name, and to hopefully even secure more retail deals, or and perhaps wholesale deals as well, just various types of deals.
Yes.
Like you said, people who are coming to buy your product. That's first and foremost.
Yes.
Secondly, when the career musicians come in seeking the artist endorsement deal, how do you broach that subject? How do you handle that?
So, all honesty,
That's
known
what I
you
want.
for years.
That's what I want.
The NAMM show is the worst place to do it. And the reason for that is, the show was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I never had lunch. I had one little thing of water that I kept with me, but it was never completed throughout the day because we were so busy. I try to schedule meetings with our dealers, but when they have so many other dealers to talk to, sometimes meetings go long, and then everybody gets, I give them 15 minutes. Well, if they're 15 minutes late, I might see you Sunday after everyone's gone. I mean, that's the reality of it. I mean, we love having people come by. They play the guitar. One of our other helpers, whether it was Lori or Juan John, Dave Cleveland, these, Fitz McGill, people that come and they help us out. And the reason that they're there to help, they're not there to sell the product. That's my job. They do know the pricing, and because I want to brief them just as a backup plan. But they're there to keep people occupied and entertained until I can get to them. That's what it is. So when an artist comes by, it's always fun because these people that are helping me are artists. They are endorsed artists. Okay, so it worked for them to get into our company years ago. That's right. And they're incredible blessings to our company. They're fabulous at what they do. That's why we choose them. I mean, I got probably 130 people just off the top of my head that are endorsed artists of McPherson Guitars. I choose 3 for a reason. Right. There is, outside of yourself, of course, nobody like Dave Cleveland. Okay, his heart, his spirit, his joy, his passion for music, and his knowledge is way more than I know. I mean, it's like, Venus and Mars sort of thing. Sure. And that's the benefit to having something like that there, where they come in and as a professional that is looking for an endorsement or just curious about our product because the Offset Sound Hall, they've heard about it. Sure. And we're not big enough where it's, everywhere. Right. So they come, well, how does this sound with this pedal, with this cable, with this pick, and all that? Well, Dave's done it. He's done it all. Sure. So he can sit there and tell them, and, fine. He's yours,
Right. So like you said, keep him busy.
Keep him busy, right. And if time allows, then he'll say, "Oh, by the way, here's Larry's card or something." And we always talk to each other. I will always return a phone call or email to an artist, one way or the other. But
I'm a testament to that. Yeah.
But the main thing is just to really seal a deal financially with one of our stores. I mean, that's why I'm there. Goal. So the NAMM show is the worst place to do it, just because of the lack of attention for me to give to them. And to me, that's a really big deal. We pride ourselves on making one of the best acoustic guitars in the world, in our opinion. And it's not just the product that we make.
I second that opinion.
It's the customer service has to be world class. They have to go hand in hand, and that's a big thing with me. My wife says you spend way too much time giving tours, way too much time talking to people. People have asked me for tours on Saturdays when we're closed, but they happen to be, coming through Sparta. They send me an email. I said, but I'm going to be in town, either cutting the grass, or why don't I meet you there at the shop at 9, 10, 11 o'clock? And sometimes we end up going to lunch with each other, and I don't know who these people are, but if they're in the musical family, they're friends just because of that worldwide. That's who we want to be, and that is the best sales investment. Is just be nice. Be nice to people. Tell them the truth. Okay, don't sugarcoat things. Don't stretch it out a bit. Just here's our guitars, $12,000, $14,000. How can I help you, sir? But they'll go away and they will tell other people about it. So that's a big thing, is a customer service. Right. And all that to be said, like that customer service still goes to returning phone calls to endorse or possible endorsed artists. You have to respect who they are. I have no idea who most of these people are, because it's not really my focus. My focus is running a business and making money, so that we can occasionally choose artists. Right. to help the product.
That's perfect. Well said. Well, we know in business, and what you just said is, supports this truth. It's always about the relationship, right?
Absolutely.
No matter what business
Absolutely.
you're in. So I truly believe, sometimes there's happenstance, sometimes there's things that are just preordained to happen, right? So nothing happens without a reason. And that's how I came to know McPherson. I was working with Keith Thomas, the famed producer in Nashville, and we were working on a CeCe Winans album, and I was playing whatever acoustic I was playing at the time. I don't remember. It was early in my career.
It's better that way if you don't remember, right?
It's early in my career. I'm still in my probably early to maybe mid-20s. And he says, have you ever played a McPherson? I was like, a what? He's like, oh, well, see that guitar? I was like, yeah, I was going to ask you about that. And, a lot of times when you're young and you go into these producer studios, you're a little intimidated, let's be honest. You see all these cool instruments, and you don't want to, if you're respectable, you don't want to say, let me just grab that. You ask. So anyway, I didn't want to, anyway, he offered it to me. And he goes, tell you what, why don't you take that in the booth and let's cut this next song with that. So I did it, and he starts screaming, oh my God, it's amazing. I can't believe it. I knew that guitar was perfect for you. He's like, hold on a minute, right? And I'm still in the booth. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what's this guy doing? He seems cool. Come out here. I want you to say hello to Matt. Okay, Matt who? Matt McPherson. This is the guy who makes that guitar. You need to talk to him. Hi. So Matt got on the phone, the owner of the company, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't know that. Then he just says, hey, Keith speaks very highly of you, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, long story short, a McPherson shows up on my doorstep 2 days later, UPS. Yep. I flipped out.
Redwood Rosewood, I'm guessing?
Yes, and that's that guy right there. Oh, okay. That's my original, yeah. That's so, and the specs on that.
Yeah, it's probably a 4.5 inch, I'm guessing. Maybe a 4 inch. Yep, that is
at 4.5.
It's actually a bear claw Sitka top on it. And a 4.5 walnut.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know I put that awful sticker on.
Yeah, we'll talk off the air.
But I got the extra wide neck.
Yep, the wide neck.
Tight neck, right?
Well, that fits your style,
my style,
your hands.
Right.
Yeah,
so this guitar showed up on my doorstep, and this was probably 15 years ago. No exaggeration. Yep. So my point is, long story short, it's about the relationship. I didn't go out to the NAMM show. I didn't go knocking on people's doors, retailers and different luthiers and whatnot, looking for an endorsement deal. The relationship was there with the producer, which spawned the relationship with Matt, which in turn spawned the ongoing relationship with you guys. Yep. So very grateful, and I think that's the moral of the story. Sometimes as musicians, especially the younger we are, the more eager we are to, we got to get those deals. Like, I need an endorsement deal. I need it. So I'm just trying to teach people, you know what, slow down a little bit, have some patience, and I can almost guarantee that things will work out. I hate to say this because it sounds cliche, but the way they're supposed to.
Well, I don't want to go off track from that specific question. Please. However, I'll tell you a little story about Juan de Hoyos, who we're familiar with. Okay?
Yes.
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
I'm at the show. You know Susie Orbeck?
Yes.
Okay, she's been with us for some years too.
Yes,
as an
of course I know
artist.
Susie.
She's up at the West Tone booth singing.
Yes.
Through a series of unfortunate events, a person wasn't able to attend a certain function they were hired to, and a couple of phone calls around Nashville, and so Susie and Juan John ended up meeting each other for the first time. I think it was a West Tone booth in Denver at some trade show to perform. And so, of course, she had a custom-made McPherson with Tree of Life and all kinds of stuff that we special made for her. Yeah. Juan John was more of a electric player at that time, just because of the lack of a good acoustic guitar. Right. So they're sitting there and pulls it out. Oh, look at this. He goes, what in the world is that? I say, well, it's a McPherson, just play it. And he strummed it. It's like, tears coming out of his eyes, like angels, and all that stuff. Right. Because he's very emotional and expressive of an individual, which is really the key to a fabulous artist and an entertainer. He's a solo entertainer, so for him it's perfect. Fast forward a few months, they're doing the NAMM show. And both of them are working on different booths upstairs, but and I've never met the guy. So she comes down, Susie's all bubbly, comes down and gives us a hug, and everybody, she's part of our family, and brought him with just to say hi. And I said, so what are you playing upstairs? He said, well, I'm playing an electric, but I figured, you know what, if I can get a McPherson guitar in someone else's booth, with 120,000 people walking around on a different floor from where I am.
Right.
Why wouldn't I?
Even more exposure.
So I said,
Sure,
hey,
sure.
I had never met the guy before, but look,
Yeah.
you know, he's clean cut to a
Yeah.
point, you know, respectful.
Trustworthy.
Yeah, a little bit of a hipster look to him at the time. And if Susie vouches, you know, it's relationships.
Sure.
So I said, why don't you take this guitar and play it? If you're okay with that. He's like, really? I can touch this? And what? He didn't realize it's $14,000, and it's best I don't tell those people at the time, you know, because I want them to experience the music. I want them to feel the product, to feel the soul between them and the instrument.
Right.
So anyway, he goes up there and he comes down after the performance. Says, no, you're going to be up there for 4 days. You know, if it's okay. I mean, I don't want to interfere with whatever relationships you guys got with the other company. I didn't know endorsement deals that he had and what's expected of them. He said, no, I'll keep it. So, and then Dave Cleveland goes up there and jams with them. Then Fitz, now I got 4 McPherson guitars at the same time performing on the stage 4 times a day for 4 days. All because I took a gamble on him.
That's right.
Susie was the only person that had the McPherson.
That's right.
And at the show, when it was done, the owner of Westone comes down. He said, I feel like I need to write you a check for like $50,000 for what these people have brought to my booth and the entertainment value. You know, because he said, I didn't hire all these. They just showed up. He said, but they're so much fun and they're happy and the guitars are gorgeous. And, you know, at the end of the show, of the whole, you know, NAMM show, he comes down with the guitar and very humbled, very appreciative, you know, not arrogant, not, you know, don't you know who I am? Didn't you see how cool I am and how fast I can play and all that? And he said, man, I love you guys so much for taking a gamble and allowing me to play this instrument, you know. And now my wife, she already told me earlier that day, she goes, you're letting him keep that guitar, right?
Yeah.
You know, because it was the lack of arrogance, the humble.
The humility, yeah.
Yep, the humility of a well-dressed, well-spoken person that will represent who we are.
Right.
So the relationship with the individual is at that point more important than what are we going to get in return. Let's bless somebody. That's what that was.
But I have to say that's a unique philosophy.
Oh, absolutely.
To McPherson.
Yeah.
Because you guys did the same for me, and like Matt, when he got on the phone with me, that was the beginning of a relationship. He invited me to his house when I was on tour with American Idol. I went to that. I stayed at his house.
Lon John stays at our. I call it the Casa de Hoyas when he's in town.
Casa de Hoyas. There you go. Exactly. So you guys are unique like that. You know, not a lot of companies can afford to do that or have whatever.
Yeah.
But you guys do that, and I think that's like one of the founding principles of your company.
Yeah.
So that's truly unique.
Yeah, that's sort of the good thing about Matt. You know, his parents were ministers. He was raised in a very humble, giving environment his whole life. He's one of the oldest of the 7 kids of the McPhersons, and he's probably got the biggest heart for helping people, which, you know, in his case, it works out because he has the means to help more people.
Right.
But even if he had nothing, he'd still do it. That's just who he is, and that's guy. You know, we've been friends for 41 years because of that.
Wow.
Because we both have that same passion. I mean, you know, there's things I wish I could do, or I will do once I pull the plug on my current career.
Right.
You know, help Habitat for Humanity, where there's these fires that you guys have had out here, or you know, the hurricanes, the floods, all the stuff that happens.
Sure.
You know, you don't. You know, to use the word missionary, people think it's like an overseas, you know, Africa thing. And why don't we start in our backyard? Why don't you help your neighbor cut the grass?
Please.
You know,
wow,
so that's where
I gotta touch you on that one.
that's where our company's heart is, and let's bless people.
Yeah.
But the negative side of that is that people can see that as a weakness in business and say, I thought you were a Christian company. I heard something said or I read something about you helping, you know, because we do give a bunch of these carbon guitars to an orphanage in Peru, a bunch of young kids. We've so far donated 45 of these carbon fiber guitars.
Amazing.
And the kids are like 6 years old up to 18.
Sure.
And it's, you know, overseen by a Catholic priest there that has a McPherson guitar that Matt ran into him. You know, it's just a connection. So now when people read things like that or hear things like that, then they almost think we're suckers, or that they can squeeze in and say, well, you know, I'm helping somebody or whatever. Can I get one too? And then when you say, well, you know, we're currently not in the position, or what, you know, I mean, we're always gentle with it, but there's, you know, we do respond and we're honest with them. outside side of saying that, you're just not really our image.
Sure,
I guess
sure.
because that is a big thing. That's a huge thing for us.
Right. But you operate with shared diplomacy.
Oh yeah, but then these people get all mad, and then it's like, yes, I made the right choice, because when I said no, now all of a sudden it went from the schmoozing part of opening a door to try to get into our company, and now I said, I'm sorry, but at this point I can't help you. But good luck in what you do in the future. You're a great musician and all that, and I can maybe give your name to some other companies that I know and all that. We can't do it right now. And well, you jerk, what the heck's wrong? I thought you're Christian, so so then you see the real spirit of the people, and it's never fun conversations to have. I wish we could do everything. Matt said the same thing. He said, I wish I could give them all away. He said, you still have to pay bills.
Right.
That's the reality. It is a business that we are blessed to have the opportunity to help maybe more people because of Matt's heart and his financial success.
Right. Yeah. Well, look, you talk, and again, I'm focusing so much on the endorsement aspect because the podcast, The Career Musician.
Sure.
Career musicians are always so eager to know about how it works. And I've always been the one to say, look, you can't just keep your hand out and expect to just keep getting. You have to do something. So let's talk about, we know the image, we know what you're looking for in that aspect, and the philosophy of the person you're giving it to. But what else does it take to nurture a proper artist endorsement relationship with a company?
Yeah, the business part of the artist endorsement relationship is, okay, we gave you a guitar that is, even if it's a carbon guitar, it's $3,500, the new McPherson Carbon Series Sable.
Nothing to sneeze at.
And, the honeycomb, the gold hardware, it is still a McPherson, and it is built with that same McPherson quality, just a different material. Yeah, same pride. Whether it's a carbon or the wood, the return on our investment has to be the same. And what we need in return is, in today's age, social media, Instagram, Facebook, all the same things. Do the hashtags, you use the product, show the product off, or even if you are, speaking about it, make sure, talk about the product and all that. It's a tough one to really put a price tag on, did I get my return? Because we don't know if somebody bought a guitar because of what they saw or heard. Now, in the big picture, in reality, just in the honest truth about the whole thing, and I had to be pretty blunt with a fairly large artist at one time that kind of was pushing me a little bit on how great he was and what he expected. He already had our guitars for years, several of them. And he said, well, there's got to be a lot of value because I play your guitar. And I kind of laughed. I said, well, friends for all these years, just going to be blunt with you. I said the worst financial investment this company can make are artist endorsements. Because, see, these are handmade instruments. Right. They cost us thousands of dollars to make. So
versus an assembly line.
Absolutely. These are,
which is a lot different.
So our head luthier is Eric Pelton. He builds the entire body of the guitar himself. Nobody touches that ever except Eric. Wow. It's his own tools. This is his zone. You stay out of it. Mike Grady, same thing. Nobody touches Mike's stuff but Mike. If you go there, and occasionally I like to play with their mind, they got a chisel there, and I'll kind of slide it just a little bit on an angle. These people are perfectionists. They are masters at what they do. So they make a very good living doing it, and we take really good care of them because they give us, they're building like a Rolls Royce. We're not bragging or anything like that, but you have to have a vision of, a high quality is what I'm getting to. So, we are extremely picky about everything that goes into it. So it costs thousands and thousands of dollars, way more than people think, that goes into these, and a lifetime warranty, and a $700 Meritage case, and feedback busters, and multiple saddles, and on it goes. And with that, that's the cost of doing business, as everybody knows. Everything costs money, and in a business, it runs forever. Taxes go up. Utilities go up, and in our building, humidity. Like, we were just saying earlier, when I get back home Wednesday, it's 68 below zero. I have 5 humidity units going, and they're nonstop. I have heaters going nonstop. Yes. My gas bill probably for next month will be $9,000. Okay, so that's the thing that people don't see. These are not made in Southern California or someplace, or Hawaii, places where the humidity is good and the temperature is good. Right. They're made in Sparta, Wisconsin, across Wisconsin area. And with that comes a fee. The shipping is more because we're kind of in the middle. We're kind of close to Minneapolis, so there's nothing near us really. Everything's got to be shipped out. To overnight a guitar for us is $325, and every one of our guitars is overnighted, whether it's going out or coming back, because of the quality of the product. So so that's where. Do we get a return on an investment on a guitar that we sold at a discount or actually gave away to an artist?
And you're still investing every time.
And it's forever. If they're like, with your guitar, the guitar you got that you showed me, that walnut bear claw, that is number 29 ever made. So that's 2001, I'm guessing.
Yes, that's 2001 or 2.
Yeah. So for all these years, not like we're getting old, but I'm just saying,
we're getting old.
But for all these years, I mean, you take excellent care of your stuff, but trust me on this. I have stories that you'd be curled up in a corner in the fetal position from stuff that came back to us, from artists that we have to fix, and we are glad to fix it to get it back out there. But the lack of respect on the product, that's another huge thing.
In the music industry, there are so many avenues to travel. Join host Nomad as he dives into the crazy world of entertainment, going behind the scenes to gain insider knowledge of how to maintain a healthy career in the music business.
Your value is not determined by the gig. Learn more by listening to the Career Musician Podcast, streaming everywhere.
The Career Musician Facebook group encourages musicians to share both their victories and trials with one another. Join the conversation at the Career Musician Facebook group today.
You're listening to the Career Musician Podcast by Nomad.
Hi, this is Larry Klenc, formerly with McPherson Guitars, and you're listening to the Career Musician Podcast with my very good friend, Nomad.
I understand it's a working tool, and stuff happens. But when it happens to the same people, over and over and over. So that's number one, respect the product.
Yes.
And the brand.
Yes.
Number two is the people that spent 6 to 8 months building that instrument to make it perfect, and you disrespect it like that, and then they find out that you didn't pay for it full price, and now you want the same people to fix it again for free for you. So I have to deal with the internal workings of this too.
Wow.
Some people, they love, like Richard Kaiser. You know Richard at all? He's more of a Chet Atkins style.
Yeah, I don't know him, but I know his name.
Oh yeah, he's been with us forever too.
Yeah.
If he sends a guitar in, he's 70. If he hears this, he's a young 70, I guess, because I'm not sure, but I think he's 71, 72. But if he sends a guitar in for electronic issue or a setup or something, it looks like the day he got it.
Of course.
And so our guys are proud and happy to work on it. He'll send a CD in, they will listen to it. Wow. Because it was a mutual respect.
That's right. For
his art and for their art.
That's right.
So there's so much more than just can I have a guitar because I'm going to play it on stage and bring people to you. That's the irrelevant part. Everybody that I know of, a couple micro exceptions, they're not going to go to a Vince Gill concert, Carrie Underwood concert, all these people that play our guitars, and even notice, really. I mean, did you know Carrie? Well, you know Carrie. I mean, what I'm talking about.
Carrie the Deagle.
Yeah. You ever hear of this girl, Carrie Underwood? She was on Idol years ago. Yeah.
Okay, I love that.
Which I'm assuming they know. But
doesn't matter.
How many people know Carrie Underwood plays the guitar?
Right. No, that's a good point. It's a very good point.
And if they do see her playing her McPherson, because she's got 3 of them, and she bought another one for her husband.
Nice.
She's very loyal to our brand.
She's
just a sweetheart of a person. How many of those people either can afford a $12,000 to $14,000 guitar? Let's start with that. Mm-hmm. Or how many of the 20,000 people in the concert venue are there to even look at what she's playing,
or
even play guitar? Yeah, right. Exactly.
And the one thing that sets you guys apart visually is the misplaced sound.
Yeah, the offset sound,
which is beautiful.
Properly placed sound.
Misplaced.
Properly placed sound.
Edit. Offset sound hole, or properly placed, and it makes so much sense when Matt explained it to me so years ago when I went to his place and he showed me. You guys have given me tours of the factory. You never realize that your picking hand is in the way of the sound being projected.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of brilliant, but it's one of those brilliant things. It's like, how come it took them so long to invent blah blah blah, fill in the blank, and that would be this.
So, but so that's the biggest thing. If it's if a person contacts us, they want an endorsement guitar. I had one stop by the NAMM show. I just pushed a song to Toby Keith and Garth Brooks, all that. Well, okay.
That's
I'm
nice.
glad. I hope it works out for you. I hope you're successful and all that. You never said anything about, do you even play guitar or do you perform on your own? I mean, so, but I'm glad for it, because music is, it's forever. Everybody loves music. I mean, it lifts people's soul when they're depressed. When they go running, when everything, you listen to music because it makes you happy. So I'm glad that they are continuing to be the next generation of songwriters and performers and whatnot. But as a high-end business, of any business, I mean, it doesn't have to be high-end. Just any musical, the industry is like, it's tough, man. It's really tough. I read a couple years ago in like Music Trades or Music Inc., the trade magazines I get. One year we lost like 425 mom and pop shops, and next year was like 650. So I mean, there's 1,100 stores in 2 years were gone. Yeah, and those are just ones that are NAMM members that they had a record of.
I mean, I was talking to another builder, or was it an amp builder? I can't remember I don't remember. Anyway, they were saying back in the day, you used to go to the NAMM show to learn about the new products that were coming out, because you had no other way of discovering.
Yeah.
Nowadays, with the internet and social media, it's immediate. You know everything. You could see what the next guy is doing or the next gal is doing because they're showing it every day on social media to try to get exposure, quote unquote.
Yeah. And with the business struggles
dwindling
of today, they introduced before NAMM.
Right. So that's what he was saying. He was saying
sometimes you already got a wall full of instruments before they even have the NAMM show.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Brian Spawn, a drum maker who works with us with the Babyface crew. He runs into the same issues. Yep. They're introducing, he said, now in October, November, so the cat's out of the bag.
Because they need money.
Wow.
And that's the reality of it. You have to, like, in my world, with the exotic woods that we deal with, the CITES, for those that don't know, the CITES is a protection. It's a protection of exotic woods and animals and tortoise shells, elephant tusks. It's all the same law. It's just I deal with the tree and the plant part of that law. So the penalty for Brazilian rosewood that you haven't been able to harvest since 1991, if you get caught with any in the U.S., they don't care how big it is. It's the size of your fingernail. You had better have a document proving that it was CITES approved, which is approved by the Brazilian government, who cut it, when they cut it, who brought it into the U.S., when they brought it in. I mean, it's crazy.
Wow.
I mean, it's good. It's proper that they do that, and they did it for a reason. So that's why Brazilian rosewoods are so sought after, so expensive, because they are the greatest sounding tone wood, but they were over-harvested way back, 100 years ago. And it takes hundreds of years to grow these trees to the size that you would want for a musical instrument to get the grains right. So now, 2 years ago, with East Indian rosewood, everyone's seen probably the most popular wood, either rosewood or mahogany on acoustic guitar, back and side sets. There are 240 subspecies of East Indian rosewood.
Oh, wow.
So, there's always a lawyer that finds some little loophole like, I got a bunch of East Indian rosewood, but is it this specific subspecies, So what they did is they put a blanket. Any and all rosewood from East India is now protected under CITES. And they gave us 2-month notice. Well, it takes 6 months for us to build one guitar. It was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. Well, I mean, we're a small enough company where it didn't affect me or our business much. I already had the wood in the country for what I need, because we stockpile a lot of exotic woods because it's stuff we use is so rare and unique that most, I mean, have you ever seen a royal ebony, white with a black stripe on it, comes from Laos? Okay. That's the stuff we do. We only built 2 guitars. First one lasted, I think, 1 day in a store for $18,000. So us, the East Indian rosewood is like, we use that for our brace kits, in our world. Right. So we had enough of it in, but it's now exporting it back out of the U.S. I have to ship it with documents, customs documents. And the biggest problem was that the organization has, like 100 to 200 members in these meetings that vote on this. Well, it's somewhere over in Europe. They didn't ask the music industry. This is the world protection industry. Right. They didn't realize the impact it would have. Again, little guy like me, that's no big deal. Taylor, Martin, Gibson, I heard there was an entire 1/4's worth of inventory going to Europe. sitting on the loading docks in the crates to be shipped. They were held up for months because the U.S. government didn't even have the paperwork to fill out. They had to create paperwork, and then you have to contact. I mean, it took forever to jump through hoops. Now they got it all smoothed out now, and after a year of, some of the shops, they just went out of business because they can't do it. It wasn't shared with us in the industry what was going to happen here or the impact it was going to have, even though musical instruments are 1% of East Indian rosewood use.
1%.
1% in the world.
When you're talking global, it's so much bigger than...
And maybe that's why they didn't ask us. But when there's, when it's music industry is $1 billion a year industry.
Right.
But guitars or pianos...
There's a niche of
yes,
that.
they're very micro in the big picture of things. And when you're dealing with the world economy, our guitar's $12,000 to start, but you can get a really nice guitar for $300, made in some foreign country, brought into the U.S. They still have 6 strings on them.
And it's playable.
It's playable.
Right. And
so unless someone like yourself understands and appreciates and needs, because it makes you a better player, it makes it you feel better than all that. So
like my New York's coming, get out of here.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah, you were talking to me.
My goodness, jeez.
So
this guitar.
But again, that's why we only make 60 of these a year now.
60.
Because our carbon fiber took over. That's a more affordable model. So we changed our whole business plan because a lot of it was because of the CITES thing, shipping outside the U.S.
These guitars bleed your soul. That's what I say. It's like you whoever plays it, it's just little parts of your soul.
You're going to like this quick little micro story here.
Amazing.
I had an artist up at our factory a couple of weeks ago doing some marketing video for us. Yeah. And he got in a day early. Well, my daughter-in-law's a teacher, Montessori teacher, first, second, third grade. And the school only goes to 5th grade. It's just a small little school. So I said, hey, you want to have me bring this guy by first thing for the school kids to, the kids, Monday morning, they
awesome.
Go see the kids. So they said, yeah, that'd be awesome. So we put him in the gym. All the kids are sitting on the floor. So he cranked it up. Who wants to see, how fast I can play? Of course, the kids are screaming,
Right.
And he lights it up big time with some, I think the Claw, Jerry Reed.
Oh, wow.
Again, these are first, second, third grade kids. Like, holy crap.
That's intense.
So then he stopped and he said, because I had mentioned, I said, why don't you teach the kids a guitar? Teach them a chord. Let them know that they can learn how to do this. Don't just entertain them, teach them. We're at a school. So we brought some kids up and he showed them, just individual finger. Okay, put one finger here and now strum, which was really cool. He says, so he pointed to one kid. He said, what are you feeling? What's your emotion right now? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you excited and all that? And one kid, he said, I'm happy. He said, okay, I'm going to play a happy chord. So he hit a certain chord that, was bright and brilliant and put a smile on your face. He said, so anybody sad? Could put a hand, okay, here's a sad chord. And it was more like the blues sort of thing. Sure. So he was explaining at that young age that music is therapeutic and it transfers who you are at any given time. And with Babyface, you got specific styles that are used, and that's who he is.
Yeah. That's so true.
Tommy Emmanuel's the same way. A lot of Aboriginal things that he interprets into his music.
Right.
I love the guy. I think he's the best guitar player out there. Minus yourself, of course.
No, Tommy's the best.
But the damage he does to a guitar.
Oh, it's intense.
Oh man, he's almost like scratching a 50-cent piece across that wood grain at the top.
You mean minus the damage that I do to it? Larry, you're calling me out of my own podcast.
That's it.
Damn it, I didn't do any damage. I put one little sticker that said
I talked to Lola earlier. I got all the scoop. So.
Oh no, wait, what did I do? Oh, you remember there was one time I took a picture. It was the tour. I have a McPherson that I keep on tour as well, and I was out in, I think, the mountains of Colorado, and I went for a hike, and I took my guitar with me because who doesn't like to do that? Sure. So I walk, beautiful. Isn't this summer? I found this nice little rock, this nice little plateau. So I propped the guitar up against the rock. Mm-hmm. I'm saying it now, and I know that
it's recorded. It's forever now. I know. I got dirt on you.
Well, it's on social media, so it's there.
I know. I remember seeing it actually. I'm visualizing it. I
got instead I never get that many comments because I'm not famous, but whatever. I got 10 comments. Oh my God, I can't believe you did that to McPherson. That's sacrilegious. Who do you think you are?
I remember that.
I was like, guys, the guitar is one with nature again.
Yeah,
Come on.
Came from
It's
from
full
dust that will return to
circle.
dust, right?
And I didn't scratch it, I promise.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, man. Well, Tommy does do damage. Wow. I mean, look, you guys have a slew of incredible artists on the
Yep.
team. You have an incredible team at the factory building the guitars, for overseeing every last little bit.
Yep.
And you're at the helm, Larry. Real quick, talk about what it's like to run a damn company like this, because let's face it, I mean, this is a lot of work. And
It is a lot of work, but
what do you juggle?
At the beginning, when I first came there in 2005, it was still, we had a couple years under our belt, but it was almost being run by the builders because we're starting. I mean, we don't have any money. Matt put a building up, hired some people, trained them for several years. And, the stuff that, like Keith's guitar was probably a prototype that Matt had built, sent it to Nashville, to get a feel. What do you as a professional, what do we need to work on? And that's the genius of engineering. It's not like, look at my arrogance and my ego, look what I created. So, no, this is an idea I got. Let me build it, and now let me talk to the experts, which are studio musicians, in our opinion. They are the best of the best.
That's right.
That's why they're there.
That's how I got hooked up with you.
So, so when I got there in 2005, there was a lack of structure, I guess, the best way to put it, lack of computer systems and inventory control and, so those sort of things. And that's one reason Matt asked me to come there, because I had known him, previously. My job is to do what he, as the owner, wants and how he wants it done.
Right.
So it grew pretty fast. And, their first 5 years, I'd say, we were growing pretty good. We had to sift out some people, so that was a hard thing to do, because we realized, again, speaking earlier about our compassion for people, if you have to lay somebody off, it's the last thing you want to do, because it's not just them, it's their family is affected, their women, their wives, their children.
Right. That's right.
And you have to think that way, because we still want to maybe help them get another job, which is what we actually did on some of them, or transfer them to another company that we know the owner in, or something like that.
Again, that's a unique.
It's the same. Matt's compassion. That's the whole thing.
Right.
But so now, after all these years, with the elite team of builders, that the best of the best that are kept, to kind of even go a little bit more on how good they are. At this point, I will just say, why don't you build a 3.5-inch redwood rosewood? That's all I tell them. I let them choose the binding, the inlays, the tuner keys, the fret wire, purflings. If they want to, because
right.
And that's why nobody touches it, but the individual building it, that is theirs. They are Matt McPherson right now. This is their company. If you make a horrible sounding and playing guitar, you're out of business. So give it your best. And so that at this point, I'm here in LA for a week. I'm not worried about what goes on back there. Those guys know how to do everything. So it's assembling a team that you can trust.
That's right.
And let them know you trust them, and let them know they're appreciated. So now, actually, that part has gotten very easy. The harder part of the job is the bigger we get, the more customer service is needed. People are buying older McPherson guitars on eBay, things like that.
Right.
There's not a lot of them, but they do
Sure.
come up, and then so they want to know, give me the serial number, when it was made, who built it, is there anything special about the guitar, what was it worth back then, what's it worth now, insurance documents because of the value of the product. All the things that people don't realize, really, until you're there in that position. All of a sudden, you get 120 emails. It's like, oh man, I got to sit answer a lot of emails today. But we don't go home until stuff is done. I don't. I don't like leaving emails and phone messages and stuff. And at least try to return a call, leave a voicemail for them.
Again, I can attest to that. First of all, your sheer diplomacy, but your professionalism, man. If I text you, email you, call you, you're right back on it. I mean, always. And that's amazing. I've been with you guys for 15 years. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I know how frustrating it could be, because I'm just like you. You have a question, and then you sit there and wait and wait.
Yeah.
You're looking at the clock, and all of a sudden, tick, 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 tick. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Larry's got nothing to do. He's mad at me because he's not responding to me. So I know how important that is in people's lives, because the reason they're asking a question is they have a need.
Yeah.
So the sooner I can respond to that, even if I don't have the answer, at least making a quick response. You know what? I'm glad you let me know. Let me check on it. I have to go ask somebody else because I don't have that answer, but I'm going to get all over it, and I'll get hold of you hopefully today yet.
Right.
is there a better time today? Just keep the communication open. That's the whole key to
Right.
customer service, no matter if it's an artist or a store or a customer or just some guy that, wants to take a tour.
Yeah.
It's all treat everybody the same, no matter who they are, no matter how much money they got, what they look like, what they dress like. I had a guy that came in about a year ago, a young man, guessing 25-ish, real long hair, truck outside, all beat up, holes in his jeans, and just a young kid, but it didn't look like he could, have two dimes rubbed together. He said, "I'm interested in buying a McPherson guitar." Absolutely. Yeah. So, I showed him, played guitar and all that. Good player. Yeah. Very nice young man. Again, looking at the vehicle and everything, he doesn't got 12 grand. But who am I to say that? Okay. I take him out to the shop, and after he leaves, one of the guys says, "Well, man, that was a 1 hour waste of your life." One of the guys out in the shop there said that. And 2 days later, he said, "Okay," he said, "now I decided I want that customized. I don't just want to buy the guitar from you, I want it customized. So who do I talk to on that?" And I brought him right to that one guy that questioned it. I said, this young man is custom ordering a guitar, and I said, "Well, it's a 50% deposit." And he says, "You want that in cash or a cashier's check?" And he throws down $8,000 cash.
Incredible, see?
So, and that was just something that was recent, within the last year.
Sure.
And those guys became friends. The guy that, didn't think he was anything because of his appearance, where the other guy, is all groomed in style and driving a new truck, and all that.
I can just picture the conversation. So, dude, I got to be honest.
Yeah.
You were a bum when you first came.
Yeah. And the thing is, the guy that was complaining, he doesn't have a guitar like the one that the guy.
There you go. Wow.
And the guy, he was just he drives a semi.
And he's just been saving money because he wants that guitar.
That's what he wanted. Absolutely.
I was just going to say that. You never know. He could be rich, or he could just have saved money.
Yeah.
Who knows? It's not. We shouldn't care.
Yeah. So I treat everybody the same.
There you go.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah. The 3-foot rule, right? The old the 3-foot rule of sales. Yeah. If you're within 3 feet of somebody, talk to them and be kind.
That's it.
You just never
simple.
know.
Yeah. Don't expect anything in return. Just give.
That's right there.
Just give.
And again, that's super unique to your company, you guys as a whole.
It's a shame, though, isn't it? Should everybody do that? Really? I mean, it's not like we're acting like we're holier than thou. Trust me. There's times I want to, throw somebody out of the building, lock the door. Enough is enough. But it's something that we strive to. I guess it's in our minds. Go. Ask the individual, "Hey, can I get you water or coffee?" Just so you can get away. Take a deep breath, clear your mind.
Sure.
Reboot, and then go back in for phase 2.
There you go.
So. It's almost like a challenge to me. I just want to be a better person. I want to have other people walk away, whether they buy a guitar or not, just with to make them happier in life. And I don't know why I'm like that. It's just my mom was the same way, and but I'm happy that that's who I am.
That's amazing to have that intrinsically built in. Yeah. That's awesome. So look, wrapping this up, the future for McPherson. What do you see on the horizon?
I think
more instruments, different instruments, or just consistently putting out this quality work.
The quality will never change.
Right.
That Matt would shut the place down.
That's right.
If that was even a hint.
That's right.
The business is growing pretty well. We actually had the best financial year, I think, in the history of the company last year.
Excellent.
And that was mostly because of the new carbon fiber series, because they sell for $2,400 to $2,999. You get a McPherson series guitar built by the same builders. We do have a few other assembly parts that are different, but the final setups, shaping on the neck, all that, the plec machine, and if you want to customize as far as setups, we do it. I mean, it's still a McPherson custom shop. So that's exploding pretty big on us. We had a 3-month backlog all year on the carbons.
Cool.
Again, saying that we dropped the number down on the wooden guitars to 50, 60 guitars a year. However, because of our longevity of quality, customer service, and beautiful things like our Picasso guitar, the one-of-a-kind Picasso 76, the Manhattan Skyline, I get some overseas people, because we don't sell ours overseas. They can buy them, but we don't have dealers over there. I had a guy in Taiwan last year that contacted me at the NAMM show. Originally had a scout, I guess, and he chose us. And he chose 2 custom-made Brazilian rosewoods with custom inlays that were $68,000
each.
No, total.
Total.
$68,000.
So 30, whatever. 30,
yeah, they were. Yeah. And so you sell 2 guitars for 68 grand. I'd rather sell one for $1 million than $1 million for one.
There you go. That's right.
So it's not how many can you do. It's be the best.
Be the best.
There's a 3-year, 4-year wait to get like a Lamborghini or something, stuff like that. I hear that's
right.
for a reason. Ford, Chevy, all these people had financial issues in the U.S. some years ago. Mm-hmm. Never heard Rolls Royce or Lamborghini needing a bailout. There's a reason for that. And it's not fun. It's not easy to do in business. You're scared. But we will not change who we are ever. So I think the future is great. We're still only going to do the 50-60, which are mostly direct sale custom guitars. I mean, if more people want them, obviously we'll do that. But that's kind of our forecast, our business plan. And we will end up building thousands of the carbon fiber guitars and continue to make them better. And at that point, we'll introduce more styles, both of wooden and carbon guitars. It's the balancing act of business and finance and skilled labor. That's a big thing. We have to have the right people.
Wow. Not
just in skill, but also mentally.
Right.
The psych part of it's a huge deal. Because if they make a mistake, that mistake just costs $5,000. So can they handle it? We can. And say, kind of laugh a little bit, right. Give them a little bit of grief, and give it to Matt to do what he wants with it.
Sure.
But hopefully they learn. So
that's incredible. Speaking of giving it to Matt has showed me a couple of Frankensteins down in his basement.
Yeah, studio. A few of those, eh?
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Wow, this has been awesome, Larry. I truly believe you are the fearless leader of the company.
I'm an icon. Just ask me.
You are. It starts with I, right?
That's right.
Thank you so much, man.
Well, thanks for having me. It's a privilege, sir.
I appreciate it. And really, not just a biased thing, because you and I started as a business relationship.
Mm-hmm.
We're now longtime friends, but you truly are like the most amazing professional artist rep that I've ever dealt with.
Well, because my wife's here, it's all because of her. Yeah. I'm still a politician. I'm still a sales guy. Right?
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And thank you to your lovely wife, Lori, and yourself, because I'm friends with both of you, and the both of you have given me so much peace of mind over the years.
Yeah. Well, we're here for you.
McPherson, so absolutely. Awesome.
Making music is easy. Making money in music is not. Join Nomad as he talks about the ups, downs, and turnarounds of the music industry.
The Career Musician Podcast is a member of the Pantheon Podcast Network, the first all-music-based podcast collective. For more info, visit pantheonpodcasts.com.
Sign up for the Career Musician newsletter at thecareermusician.com.
Download, subscribe, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast platforms.
I'm just a nomad, nowhere man, writing the songs in this one-man band. A nomad, yeah, I'm a nomad.
Hey, this is Nomad, host and creator of the Career Musician Podcast, and I am thoroughly stoked to be an official member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Pantheon Podcast Network is the first of its kind as an all-music-based podcast collective. Please be sure to check us out at pantheonpodcast.com for more info.